Nerd alert! Learning is important, right?
Yes, exactly. What a bunch of nerds.
Nerd alert!
Right.
Marketing Architects.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Architects, a research-first podcast dedicated to answering your toughest marketing questions. I'm Elena Jasper. I run the marketing team here at Marketing Architects, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob DeMars, the Chief Product Architect of Misfits and Machines.
Hello.
Hello, we're back with your weekly Nerd Alert. Every week, I'll take a deep dive into academic marketing research and translate its complex ideas into simple, understandable language for Rob. And of course, for all of you, are you ready to nerd out, Rob?
I'm feeling nerdier than a groupie dressed as a Wookiee backstage at a Star Wars convention.
Please never do that again.
That's my Wookiee impression.
I know. I'm sorry. Did you practice that?
I was running these by Greg because I said, I normally have ChatGPT just write my openers, but I just had the time to write them myself this time.
You wrote that one?
Yeah.
You're right. That is not something ChatGPT would come up with. Man. Oh, man. Okay. That was a good one. All right. Let's get into it. This week's paper comes from the Journal of Consumer Research, and it's titled, "This Article is Not for Everyone: The Impact of Dissuasive Framing on Consumer Response to Product Messages." It was authored by Karen Ann Wallach, Sean Blair, and Jacqueline Tenenbaum, and was published just this year in 2025.
Dissuasive.
Yes.
That's just like a word you have to think about because you never say it.
I thought about that, but I was like, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. All right, so this study looks at what happens when brands say their product is not for everyone. So instead of using typical persuasive advertising language like, if you love dark coffee, this is for you, these researchers tested what happens when brands flip the script and say, if you don't like dark coffee, this is not for you, etc. Before I dive in, Rob, have you ever seen a brand use messaging like this, and was it effective?
Dissuasive can mean using negative approaches, right? Or is it like literally I'm making fun of myself?
It's more like telling someone this is not for you. Does that make sense? It's not like just negative, like fear-based advertising. It's like specifically calling out people and being like, don't buy this. Like the Patagonia example is my favorite one. Don't buy this jacket.
I tell you what, Elena, even just hearing the word dissuasive, I had to think about it. And I actually struggle trying to find examples of where brands have done this. Even when I think of the classic VW print ad where they call themselves a lemon, but really they're twisting that into a positive. So no, I haven't seen this tactic used very much.
Yeah, I haven't either. I actually have that lemon ad on my wall in here, but the one that I could think of was the Patagonia, don't buy this jacket.
That's a great one.
That came top of mind to me. So you wouldn't be the only one who hasn't seen a lot of examples of this. I don't think it's super common. They did a survey and they asked marketing professionals if they thought dissuasive or persuasive framing would perform better. So I guess I would ask you that. What do you think that persuasive or dissuasive is going to outperform?
I'm going to argue this study if it says that dissuasive advertising works better than persuasive advertising, because we can't even come up with many examples of dissuasive advertising. So just the Darwinian marketing world would have got rid of any dissuasive. No, I don't think dissuasive advertising is more powerful.
All right. Well, you would fall in the group with 85% of people. So only 6% thought that dissuasive could be more effective. However, those 6%, Rob, might be onto something. So you're not going to like this.
I'm not going to believe it.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. You're going to listen to it anyways. So the researchers, they ran 8 experiments across different products, from toothbrushes to coffee to mattresses to travel, and they found something interesting. When the message says who the product isn't for, it actually boosts interest among the right audience. They call this effect target specificity. Basically, by excluding some people, the ad signals that the product is highly specialized, a perfect fit for a smaller, more defined group. Here's a simple example. A toothbrush ad on Facebook, it said either if you like soft bristles, Grin is for you, or if you prefer hard bristles, Grin is not for you. The second version, the dissuasive one, got more clicks, more engagement, and higher conversion rates. It feels counterintuitive, but this works because people interpret exclusion as expertise. When you say this isn't for everyone, your audience actually thinks, so this brand knows exactly what I want. The same pattern shows up again with coffee drinkers. Dark roast fans responded better to, if you don't like dark coffee, this isn't for you, than if you like dark coffee, this is for you. Even a travel ad for Yellowstone National Park performed better when it said, if you don't like the outdoors, then this trip isn't for you. But here's the twist. Those not for you messages worked great for people in the target group, but they made your non-target customers like the product less. So you're narrowing the appeal to deepen resonance with that core target. So Rob, does this sound like a good thing to test, a good idea, or do you think it can be maybe kind of risky? Or I guess you're even thinking you don't really believe that this is that effective, I guess.
I guess the more we unpack this, I'm not actually sure it's a dissuasive ad.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's a fair title. So it reminds me, now that we're bringing this up, there was a steakhouse in Minneapolis that ran a billboard that said, "We are the world's worst vegetarian restaurant."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, it means they have great steak, right? In these examples, you're basically saying we're pretty awesome, and the weirdos that don't like us, yeah, we don't care about you, but like we got you. So it's not like our steak sucks, but come check us out anyways. That would be a dissuasive ad to me versus just flexing in a way where you're kind of going, we're this awesome for this group of people, and you're going to like us that much more because we're willing to make fun of the people that don't like dark coffee.
Yeah, I guess then maybe the Patagonia ad isn't even a good example of this.
I was going to bring that up.
I don't think it even falls into it. Because it's just, don't buy this jacket.
And they were also making a point about the environment. So they weren't saying, hey, we made this jacket in a sweatshop, so don't buy it.
So I guess, do you think then, knowing now what this is, so maybe the framing of it you don't like, but do you believe it more now that this messaging would work well?
100%. I just think it has a little machismo to what the product offers by being alienating to the light buyers and really going after the loyalists, the Harley Davidson kind of crowd.
But that's a good point, that what it feels like at first is this is an ad just being like kind of negative advertised against your product, which wouldn't make a lot of sense. It's just being clever, right? So just thinking about some takeaways here for marketers who are reading this. First, don't be afraid to filter. So if you say who your product isn't for, it can make it feel more specialized, maybe more premium. Clarity builds credibility. I thought this was definitely true because when you draw boundaries, you show confidence, you're focused. Audiences respect that a lot more than a brand trying to please everyone. And third, match your message to the market. If you've got a niche product or serve a specific audience, leaning into a line like this isn't for everyone can actually deepen loyalty with the right customers. But lastly, know your risk. These kind of messages will turn some people off, and that's okay as long as you're clear that your goal is precision, not trying to reach everybody with something like this. Oh, and then I thought this was a good one. It's kind of a similar principle as why luxury brands feel exclusive. Like it's very hard to buy a Rolex watch or a new Porsche. By signaling that specialization, you make your product feel a little more valuable. All right, now for Rob GPT. Persuasive ads are like handing out free samples at the mall. Everyone takes one, but few might remember it. Dissuasive ads are more like an invite-only dinner, and you may seat fewer guests, but every seat's filled with someone who truly wants to be there. That's the beauty of dissuasive framing. It doesn't chase attention, it earns allegiance, because sometimes being exclusive is the most inclusive thing a brand can do.
I'm a fan of the dissuasive. You persuaded me to like the dissuasive approach.
Great. 2 words that are kind of hard to pronounce, but yeah, I thought that was a fun one. Could be just a nice idea to test too in some sort of copy or something like that. That's it for this episode of The Marketing Architects. We'd like to thank Taylor De Los Reyes for producing the show. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, and if you like the podcast, please leave us a review. Now go forth and build great marketing.
Marketing Architects.